tonight I have an important message for you. I have something that man, like literally less than 2 weeks ago was an idea, and now is something that's a reality. That was an epiphany, I believe, that was handed to me, luckily by God, to be able to come and help you guys tonight. And we're going to do something big together if you choose to take me up tonight. So this isn't going to be some 90-minute look. I called this a webinar because I don't know a better word for it, but I'm not going to sit here and do the typical sales pitch and the 3 steps to the journey of the bridge of the customer. The people I'm looking for are smart. The people I'm looking to do business with tonight are the people that get it. The people I'm looking to do business with tonight are people that understand what I'm going to talk about in probably the next 30 minutes. So this isn't going to be a colossal use of your time. This isn't going to be, oh shit, I'm here for the next 3 hours with Q&A with Ryan. But at the end, I will do some Q&A with you guys. And I just want you to know that I'm not here to waste your time or my time tonight. We can both be partying with our families or snuggled up by the fire. So let's get going. I pushed the button and it didn't do what I thought it did. There we go. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about how to create a $1 million mastermind. By the way, I have been running the $1 million mastermind since 2017 was our first year to have a $1 million mastermind. And that event, I believe, had 150 people. Tonight, you're going to learn about my journey and why I feel like I'm the one that's qualified to lead what we're trying to do tonight. So, but the $1 million mastermind isn't something new. It isn't something that was just invented. It's something that I've been working on, and I've been involved in masterminds for over a decade now. You're going to learn about all that tonight. We're going to talk about how you can get plugged in, how you can get involved, how you can create your own mastermind, because there's a lot of benefits to doing it. And now is the best time ever. And I'll give you the facts tonight to point that out for you. So let's get rolling. Let me do this. Let me stop my video so you don't have to see me making a bunch of weird faces as I'm staring at my slides here. All right. So why are you here tonight? Click on this. Number one, I'm going to teach you a new business model that I have perfected. And when I say I have perfected, I don't know any other person in the industry that has done things to the magnitude that I have and has the amount of experience that I have, which is why I believe I'm qualified. Am I saying that I am 100% unequivocally the number one person in the industry to do this? No, but I don't know anybody who is ahead of me. I'm just putting it that way, okay? So when I teach you this business model, it's the real deal. It's not a theory. It's not something that we just made up a week ago. It's something that we've been putting into play for over a decade, right? And I'm going to teach you how to turn your success into significance. And what I mean by that is, right now you're here because maybe you see Ryan Stewman, the guy that, you know, it has a blue check on social media and a Lamborghini and coincidentally a tractor and a nice home and a ranch. And you see all of that stuff. But what you don't see is a guy that 15 years ago was a loan officer, fresh out of prison with jack shit to his name. Okay. The world didn't see that because the world wasn't looking at Ryan back then. But what happened was I hustled and created some success as a loan officer. Okay. And because of my success as a loan officer, I turned that into the significance I have today. I'm going to show you how your success in your industry, your success in a certain expertise or skill set that you have as an individual can lead on to not only creating a bunch of money for yourself, but something bigger than that, a movement. Okay. The next thing is you're here to make a decision. Okay. I'm not here to waste your time. You're not here to waste my time. I'm going to present an opportunity to you tonight. I'm not here to play around and pretend like I don't have something for you tonight. I'm going to present an opportunity tonight and you get to make a decision. That's why you're here. Let's get it. So here's what I got for you. Okay. I've got a proven business model. So I started running my first mastermind, which is what we're here to talk about tonight. A mastermind, just so for those of you that don't know, is a collective group of smart people that are on the same mission at the same time to achieve the same common goal. So let's give an example, right? Because if you're when I started, I was a mortgage loan officer. So I did loans for people who wanted to buy single family residences from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, blah, blah, blah. It was your typical mortgage broker. And when I started a mastermind with other mortgage mortgage lenders, right? So I would have a broker, which is, so I was a loan officer, which means that I'm the person that signs the paperwork and originates the loan. Then you have a broker who is someone that signs off on me, but has relationships with other brokers. It's complicated, I know, but these other brokers are people who are wholesale lenders that are basically a bunch of middlemen in the banking industry. You want to know why the Federal Reserve says the interest rate's 4.5%, and you're like, why the fuck is my mortgage 7.5%? Because there's a series of middlemen called brokers in the middle before you actually get your money. Anyway, when I started my first mastermind, that's who it was with. It was with brokers, it was with loan officers, it was with real estate agents, it was with people who could, in my circle of influence that I was trying to control market share with, that we could all benefit from each other, right? So I'm going to show you that proven business model. And by the way, I'm going to teach you a step-by-step process that you can learn tonight for free. And then more importantly than that, I'm going to make an offer for you to work directly with me and my team, but not just work with us. Tonight, this is something different. And I'm going to turn my video on for this real quick so you can see me too, so you can see the genuinosity of my face. But tonight, I'm not just going to present you an opportunity to become a client. Tonight, it's just not going to be a, hey, you know, in exchange for money, we're going to give you X, Y, Z. Because I want you to think of this as I roll through the rest of this. Tonight, I'm going to give you an opportunity to be my business partner. Okay. You look around in my life, I've accomplished all this, the real estate that I own, the things that I own, the businesses I built without partners. And right now, if I think about it, I have one person that I have partnered up with in the last few years that's a true business partner. I have zero investors, but as a true business partner, that's Brandon Brinningham. And other than that, I have people that we're in syndications with and stuff like that. But as far as business partners, somebody who has a say in our business and is actually ownership, I don't have partners other than Brandon Brinningham in one side thing. So when I say I'm willing to do some stuff tonight to create partnerships with some of you guys, this is going to be huge for the both of us. I promise you. Okay. So let's keep rolling. So who am I? If it's your first time here, I've been doing this for 11 years. I've been leading one of the largest masterminds in the industry. I am the founder, CEO, sole owner, the leader of a movement called Apex. And Apex, it really stands for a person's excellence multiplied. And that's the X, right? And the multiplication, the X sign. But what I do is I'm a greatness extractor. And I started off as a loan officer, and I ran into a snafu with the federal government over a guns charge, if I'm just being honest with you. And it changed it to where I could no longer be a loan officer. So in 2010, when the Dodd-Frank Act was passed, I had to make a decision. I had made a significant amount of money originating loans as a loan officer for the last 6 or 8 years at that time in my life, but I wasn't sure what was to come forward. But I knew that there was something going on social media. I had heard of this thing because of this book called Think and Grow Rich called a Mastermind. And I knew that if I created a mastermind teaching the success, now I had all the top producer plaques, all the W-2s, all the things that you need to say that you're top producer in the corporation. I worked for the largest privately held mortgage bank in the state of Texas at the time. I was their #1 undisputed champ, top producer. I had the W-2s and the trophies to prove everything. The reason why I say that is when I lost my ability to originate loans in 2010 and I started these masterminds, I wasn't some loser that had lost everything. I was a winner that had everything taken from me. And so what I was able to do was to parlay off of the success I had as a loan officer and connect with other loan officers to be able to help them learn how to operate on the way that I operated, on the level that I operated. Now, I'd like to tell you that, you know, I started off and I said, hey, I've got this mastermind for loan officers. I do $3 million a month. I did $40 million last year in loans by myself. If you'd like to do that and you'd like my help, come work alongside of me. And I'd like to tell you the floodgates opened. I'd like to say, you know what? As soon as I made that offer on Facebook, everybody and their mama came running my way. Everybody was just throwing money at me. It was the greatest thing ever. There was all this significance and everything was beautiful, but that was not the case. It was not the case at all. Matter of fact, what happened for me is most people said, didn't he just lose his license because he's a felon? And I was cast this massive amount of judgment. And at my first mastermind, 5 people showed up. Now, you had to pay to be in the room, and we'll talk about that model in a little later on. You had to pay to be in the room, but 5 people. Out of all the people I knew, top producer in a company with probably 500 loan officers, at least 200 loan officers, 5 people decided to trust me and come learn from me, but I kept going. Okay, so that was in 2012, I believe. I've been running since 2023, so we've been running this for 11 years now. That being said, I'm also the founder and CEO of a software company called Phone Sites. We just this week crossed our 13,000th subscriber, and we have delivered over, I think the last time I checked, 1.6 million leads to those subscribers with that software. I had an idea, turned it into a reality. I'm also an avid investor and philanthropist. I have a huge investment portfolio. And this year, my pledge is to give $1 million to charity. I came close last year. I did not quite get there. I came somewhere around $680,000 in total money given to charities. This year, I will cross $1 million in giving to charities. And I know you might think, well, that's a weird flex, Ryan, that you want to give money away. But I'm telling you, you'll never appreciate money until you give it away. It feels good to spend it on cars and stuff. I get it. You know what I mean? But it feels even better. I didn't spend $1 million last year on cars, or 680 grand last year on cars, but I spent it on charity because it just, when you get to a point in your life to where, and you know what, the point of my life, I was doing this the second I got out of prison. I started giving money to charity. I've given $5 to charity. I've given 10, and I've given tens of thousands to charity. And I'm telling you, it's a mindset that when you can, even the small amount that you might be blessed at the time, if you can bless somebody else with that, then the Lord will continue to bless you. So I am a big philanthropist, investor. Yes, pretty good at that too, but I'm even bigger as philanthropist. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to be known as when I go out. It's like, hey, what was that guy really known as? He was a philanthropist, man. He funded a lot of charities that made a lot of differences in people's lives. So I'm also a kingmaker, you know, and what I mean by that is that's a word that's been spoken to over me by my pastor, but I'm a person that finds folks like yourself and extracts your greatness and turns you into a king. Right now, you might be a prince, you might be a princess. I'm the person that extracts your greatness and says, this is the journey that you go on to go from prince to king, from princess to queen. And really and truthfully, I don't even like saying the word queen because the queen insinuates that it's secondary to the king. So I believe that women can be kings too. And this is how you go from princess to king. This is how you go from prince to king, because the king is the ultimate. Right? The king is the ultimate person that's in control when you look at the hierarchy of how that's structured. And so that's what I am. I am the person that is the king maker. That doesn't mean that I'm better than the kings that I anoint. That just means that I'm the person that sees greatness in other people and says, you have the capacity to be a king. You follow the plan. I'll make sure that that's a reality for you. Okay. Now, enough about me. Here's the deal. Let me turn this video camera off here. Okay. There's an entire industry right now that's, the word here is untapped and wide open, but it is wide open. But there's a lot of people in the industry, but they're not necessarily doing it right. They don't know what they're doing. And the competition is extremely low compared to starting a real estate business or starting an insurance business or starting a roofing business in North Texas or a plumbing company, right? There's an easier, cheaper barrier of entry that if you're the right person, that is wide open for you to make millions of dollars per year, at least 6 figures per year with a half-ass chance, okay? And there's no license or degree or diploma needed to run this business model. I think that's important for a lot of you to understand because, you know, in my life, what happened was in 2008, I was released from federal prisons for a firearm charge. 2010, I lose my real estate license. And at that moment, I had to make a decision in my life. It's like, hey, what's a business that I can go into that there's not going to be a government license telling me what I can and can't do. I'm not going to need some kind of, Harvard or Wharton degree to go into this business. And shit, in my case, I don't even have a high school diploma. I have a GED. So what's something that I can look at that is this opportunity? This mastermind business fit all of those things, right? And it's the single biggest opportunity to build wealth and existence, not from the money you make from the members, but the opportunity that comes from the movement. Okay. And we're going to get into that here shortly. So here's the product that we're selling. Your expertise. Okay, much like in 2010, when I lost my license, I said, you know what my expertise is? I was really good, and this is crazy because it was ahead of the time. I was really good at using Facebook to generate leads as a loan officer. And how that all came about is while I was long story short, while I was in prison, my wife left me. I was married at the time. She left me for the landscape guy, the lawnmower guy. I can't make this shit up, man. It'll make a good movie one day. But anyway, when I got out, I wanted to make sure that anybody that thought that was the lowest point, anybody that thought that I would never come back for that, knew that I was coming back. So every time I won a top producer plaque at the Texas Lending, or anytime that, you know, I closed a loan and took a picture with a family or whatever, I would just put that stuff on Facebook so that if anybody happened to look me up, they'd see that I wasn't a loser. That was all I cared about, ladies and gentlemen. I got where I'm at today because at one point in time, I just didn't want people to think that I was a loser. That's like, hey, man, I made a mistake. I paid for it, but that doesn't make me a loser for the rest of my life. That 15 months of my life doesn't define who I am for the rest of my life. Well, because of that, people would see the pictures of me being the top producer. They would see the pictures of me and families taking pictures that they closed their loan. And I was doing that way before it was popular on Facebook. Matter of fact, I might be the guy that pioneered that for realtors and shit. So you can thank me for that. I was on TV commercials with clients, interviewing them for the company that I work for because I was top producer. And so what happened because of that is people would reach out to me and they'd say, hey, do you think that you could get me a home? Mind you, at the time, I'm in my 30s, you know, late 20s, 30s. They'd say, hey, do you think that you can get me a place to live? Hey, would you, do you think that you can get me a house? And because of that, all my old high school friends and shit like that were starting to grow up on Facebook started to give me business, and it changed the game and it gave me an idea. And that, ladies and gentlemen, became my expertise. So I wasn't the #1 loan officer in the world. I might not even been top 10, because let's just be real. If I'm doing $40 million a year by myself, there's clients of mine right now that do, you know, shit, 20 million. I got Brandy Whitmire as a client for like 7 years now. She does 25 million a month. Shit, in 2 months, she's smoking me. You know what I mean? But it wasn't about me being the best in the world. It wasn't about me being the top person. I had specialized expertise. Meaning I knew how to extract leads from social media before anybody else knew in 2010. Meaning that I had some skills in 2012 that weren't common like they are right now. And that's where you're probably at right now. Maybe whatever industry you're in, you know, a specialized way that if you get with any company and teach them this specialized way, they'll make more money. You have this one area of expertise. Like, for example, the other day, I was talking to a tax advisor. And I talk to a lot of tax advisors because so many, like, I'm always trying to save money on taxes. Who isn't? But so many different strategies exist. I'm just trying to learn all of them, right? And so for me, that's the thing. It's like, hey, if I can do business with somebody and they save me 10% in tax savings at my income level, it's huge. Okay. And so I'm not looking for them to know everything about taxes. I'm looking for that one little thing that they're an expert at that I can add to my arsenal that'll save me a few percentage here and there. So it's the same thing when people join a mastermind, they're looking for a specific expertise. It might be Facebook ads. It might be Google ads. It might be graphic design. It might be health and fitness. It might be a dietitian. It might be clothing, it might be style, it might be dating, like my man Adam Stark used to do, or I'm sorry, Adam Lyons used to do. There is a million different ways that your expertise can pay out on here. So the next thing is what we're really selling is a network. When you can build a network of people that you can rely on. And what I mean is rely on is like, if I send a loan to Mike Wolf, I know that he will close it. If I send a client that wants to buy or sell real estate to Kayla Manassas and Pedro Manassas, I know that they are going to take care of it. When I send somebody to Mike with Phone Sites, I know he's going to get them the right website built. Why? Because that's the network that I've built around this. That's the same thing that can happen for you. And lastly, we're selling live events. You know, people need that human connection. We're all doing Zooms and we're doing text messages and FaceTime, but there's nothing like hugging another person. There's nothing like shaking another man's hand or another woman's hand. There's nothing like fist bumping your homeboy, because I don't like shaking hands. There's that human interaction when you're sitting in a room with people and that energy's flowing and you're bouncing that shit off of each other. That is an absolute game changer. And people crave that, especially because the last 2 years we've been told not to hang out with each other. If I'm just being real, the last couple of years, I'm not going up, don't worry. The last couple of years we've been told not to hang out with each other. And one thing about human beings is we do not like being told what not to do. So when you tell us don't hang out with each other, we start to crave that shit even more. So there is a high demand for people that want to get together. And it's bigger than that, because people crave a community, right? People want to be around people that are like-minded, because here's what happens. Okay. A person starts to, let's say they come from we'll call it humble beginnings. And now all of a sudden they start making $150,000 a year. And the people that they've known their whole life are still living and through those humble beginnings, and they start to judge them. And they say, oh, we think he's fancy. Oh, he's making all this money now, he's better than us. And that may not be the case. And the person typically doesn't think that they're better than anybody else. But what happens, right, is we evolve and we get better, and we want to be around people that are winning. You know, I once, when I first started, I worked for a mortgage company, and the top producer was maybe doing $500,000 a month. Well, you know, I got to like $600,000, $700,000 a month, and I could never get past that. That was my limit every month. And then I started to be happy with it. Well, then I went to work for this other place, Willow Bend Mortgage, with my man, Mike Wolf. And Mike Wolf's doing like $8 to $10 million a month. Right. So now all of a sudden my thermostat, as Ed Milet calls it, my thermostat changed, and I'm like, shit, that's what's possible. So, right. So then all of a sudden I start doing $2-3 million a month because I see somebody that's doing 10. Right. That's what people are looking for. They're looking to get around people that raise the bar in their life, that raise the temperature on their financial thermostat, on their mental callous thermostat, on their physical thermostat. Right. People are craving a community. Look, there's a bunch of losers in society right now. And I don't say that to be negative or degenerate people or anything like that. I'm just saying we want to be around winners, and people are craving communities of winners. Right. And in reality, the last couple of years, people lost loved ones. If I'm being honest, think about this. In 2019, you get along with your family. Everybody's amazing. All the business partners you have are amazing. All the people that you know, your friends, there's no divisive arguments other than maybe they don't like President Trump at the time or not, but it's not that big a deal. Nobody's supercharged until 2020. Then people start arguing about the jab. People start arguing about the mask. And it doesn't matter which side that you stand on. I'm not here to talk about that tonight, but whichever side you stood on, you lost people from one or the other side. And people lost their loved ones because they got sick or whatever the case may be. Then people lost their loved ones because they got in arguments and fights with them, and they don't go to Christmas with them anymore, or their family refuses to have them over because they didn't do a medical procedure or whatever the case may be. And so people are looking for new people to connect with like never before, you guys, like never before. Okay. And then people want to be around people who are like them. You know, the Jim Rohn said it best, and I quote this all the time, and so does every other motivational, inspirational, entrepreneurial person that's out there. But you become the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So why wouldn't you want to make sure that you surround yourself with amazing people? And most people that are trying to win, that are trying to level up in life, that's what they want to do too. They say, hey, and you know what? And in reality, people, just a side note, I learned this from a man named Joshua Kraft, who's a pastor of a church here in Frisco, but he said, some people are for a reason, some people are for a season, and very few are for a lifetime. And, you know, a lot of people are leveling up in life, and the people around them aren't leveling up. And so they want to be around people who are constantly growing, people who are leveling up at the same level that they are. And that's the part of the community and the new relationships that can be built right here. So here's the deal. No lies. I'm going to show you the receipts. I got over $50 million in mastermind sales without a high school diploma. Listen, and I say this stuff because I'm not bragging. It's not something that I'm embarrassed of, but it's not something I'm obviously proud of. But what I'm saying is wherever you're at in life, you're probably ahead of where I was when I started, because I did this with no high school diploma. I did this knowing that I have a criminal record. I did this knowing that I fucked up multiple marriages, right? I did this knowing that the force of average slam dunked me back through the hole that sent me up through the top time and time over again. So that what I'm saying is, if I could do this with this mean mug face, this rough ass voice, with this criminal record, then you can as well. Here's the thing. I just want to show you guys what's possible here. This is some real-time shit. The one on the right says today, but that was Friday. So Friday and it's cut off, but that was about 6:30 in the morning. That's $74,800 that you can see was put in that day. This is Monday, $43,500 that came into that same account. I don't know why my guys cut it off, but that's the same account. And it says down here, this is from 2015 to 2023. In full transparency, I didn't take $1 into this account. I opened it in 2015, but I didn't take $1 into this account until July of 2019, because that's when we had the M3 event in Vegas with, I won't say his name, but an ex-business partner that caused me to have to shut down some other accounts and fix everything. Hence why I don't have a lot of partners. So I say that because these are real numbers. Just a weekend apart, this $24 million down here at the bottom is real money. So when I say that I've done 50, this isn't counting my other accounts. This isn't counting wires that come in. This isn't counting the event sales that come through a whole different merchant account, but this is real time. I got the receipts. The money's right there for you guys so that you know that this isn't, oh, here he is, one of these guys claiming these fucking numbers. I bet he ain't doing shit. No, I'm not going to lie to you. If there's one thing you can know about me, is I'm going to shoot you 100% straight 100% of the time. All right. So I run this group Apex. We have 2,000 active members. The screenshot here where it says private group 2,000 is actually just a screenshot from Facebook. Okay. So that's our group. We have over 2,000 members that are paying in our active mastermind. Okay. That's 8 figures in annual revenue for multiple years now that we've been doing this. I've been growing this shit, like I said, for 11 years now. All right. I've also donated over the years, over 7 figures in charities. I'm trying to get to 7 figures a year. That's the goal this year, but I have donated 7 figures and more on behalf of the mastermind, not just Ryan Stewman personal money, if I'm being honest, but on behalf of the mastermind, because part of the reason that one of the things I learned from my friend Cole Hatter was it's cool to drive and own and operate a for-profit business. That's what most of us are in, right? But he might say a for passion business, but I say a for purpose business. That's what Cole says. A for purpose business is what I'm doing. And my purpose here is OUR. We rescue kids that are being stolen in sex trafficked, right? Elevate Life takes care of all, where I live in Frisco, Texas, takes care of a lot of families that are underprivileged. We pay off medical debt. We fed everybody that couldn't afford groceries during the pandemic. Operation Light Shine is a technology that finds pedophiles. And while they're watching the weird stuff that they watched, we send cops over to stop and intercept them. Plus we find missing children. And then Elite Meat is Navy SEALs, Green Berets, and other special operators leaving the military. We donate money to them to help them get the training, to find jobs, to go from killing people on the battlefield for us. And thank you for your service if you're one of those guys watching this, but killing people on the battlefield on our behalf to keep us safe here, to working in a cubicle in Deloitte. It takes a little while to condition somebody's mindset to make that corporate change. And so these are 4 things that we invest. We don't donate, we invest, because this is an investment in society, an investment in these kids that we rescue, an investment in the area that we live and support here, an investment in stopping these weirdos that are hurting kids, and an investment in saving heroes' lives. So you don't just get to have a mastermind that makes you a bunch of money and a bunch of friends. You get to have a mastermind that supports something that you care about and gets people on board alongside of you, right? And I think of everything that I've done. I own cool stuff, travel private, all these like really cool things, but when I meet these guys and talk to these people that run these foundations, and when I employ guys from Elite Meat, and I donate a massive amount of money to Operation Light Shine, Elevate Life, and Operation Underground Railroad, when I deal with these people, man, it's the greatest thing to be able to give back and see my hard work hard for somebody else. I promise you, you'll get that same feeling too. Okay. Because of this, hundreds of jobs created. You know, I have over 100 employees throughout the 5 companies that I personally run and operate. And man, it's an amazing thing to know that last year I've got employees that made as much as $700,000 working for my organization. I have tens of shit, I don't fucking know how many dozens of employees that are on 6-figure salaries because of what we've been able to create through masterminds here. Okay. So here's what we want to do. We want to extract your expertise. We want to build your mission and core values, because you can't build a movement, right? Like you can build a mastermind and they might last for a season, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 months, but you build a movement, you get people locked in, you build a community, man, that changes the game. I've got people like Adam Lyons, who's been with me for 7 years. I've got people like Jessica Stroud, who's been with me for 5 years. I've got folks like, man, there is a bunch of people that have been with us for 3, 4, 5 years. We got Jeff Ducharme. We got Patrick Bolaños. We have Lisa Marie Platsky. There is a bunch of people that stay, right? That's the point, is to create a mastermind. And the mastermind's no good if people leave and they take your mastery elsewhere. The mastermind, you keep there and you grow together. And the way that you do that is you build a mission and core values. I'm the master at that. I'm going to teach you how to get the proper tech stack, right? So that's Facebook, Kajabi, YouTube, a few other apps to be able to get your community engaged. I've already run all the tests, all the background shit. Like nobody has the prolific amount of experience that I do. I'm going to teach you how to get the leads and close them with the people that are in your network, right? So how all this is going to work, you'll get access to the templates, trainings, and teachings that we have. Now, mind you, we run the most efficient, most effective, probably the most profitable mastermind in existence. I'm talking about Apex. Okay. So you're going to get that same system that we run Apex by to run your mastermind. So you go out, you got an expertise, you want to lead people, you want to change the world, you want to create a movement. We've got the exact step-by-step for 11 years that I will show you step-by-step, teach you, hold your hand, walk you through the process, the teaching. Then I'm going to do the first 10 people that take me up on this partnership offer. We're going to do an intake call with me personally. We got tech support. Now, mind you, when you partner with me, you're not just partnering with me. I have a team of 100 employees, like I just said. Right. And we're not here to do the work for you because you're building your own business, but we're here to point you in the right direction and support you and get you the resources and the things that you need in order to be successful with your individual operation as well. So let me give you some examples. In 2013, I partnered up with this guy, Frederick Eklund. You may recognize him from $1 Million Listing New York. And he's been on TV for probably 10 years now. And his first year on TV, their show was in last place, I believe, as far as Bravo went. And we partnered up. I found him early in the game. Nobody knew who he was. He had 16,000 followers on his Facebook page. I ran ads to his Facebook page for his mastermind without people knowing who he really was, but knowing he had a certain amount of expertise. I shot commercials and videos for him. I ran an ad for him, and we did 7 figures in sales, and we did 2 masterminds back to back. He became a business partner with me early on in the game. You know, it's fucking early because I'm wearing a suit in the fucking picture here. That's how early in the game this shit was. Look at that. That's a suit, ladies and gentlemen, that probably cost me less than $200. I mean, it's not like you couldn't tell with the reflection on the material there, but Frederick, by the way, is like FU money rich. His dad's picture is on the dollar bill in Sweden. I can't make this up, right? You can Google it. And maybe it's not the active dollars that they have there, but in the past, his dad was on the dollar, right? So he's real money. So he's probably wearing like I don't know, $5,000 shirt because he's at this mastermind. And I picked this shit up at Kohl's on the way in there, right? But I pulled it up. That's why they call me the hardcore closer. And we made 7 figures together. Josh Flagg, $1 Million Listing LA. Now, this is back in 2012. Josh was my first client, and we agreed that if we made $10,000 from this mastermind, we would do good. We ended up making about $150,000, And we from the first round of the mastermind, and then we did tours and live events and made another $250,000. It was I'm not going to talk about it live on this webinar. It's one of the most sketchiest, craziest experiences of my life, because there was a shooting at LAX before the day that we were all landing there for the mastermind. It was fucking crazy and chaos, but we still made almost $500,000. And I had no idea what the fuck I was doing back then. And again, Josh wasn't some famous person. If we were to do this now, we would make tens of millions of dollars together. I'm one of the founders of Avengers, which is Dan Fleischman, Cody Sperber, Joel Marion, and several other amazing people. And this is actually me doing my stand-up set. That was the problem. Look, everybody laughing their ass off in the audience because I'm funny as fuck. I'm just saying. But the Avengers has done I think it's done $14 million in sales, and it's a mastermind that I'm founder and regularly consult. 100 million, same thing. I'm one of the founding members of 100 million. That mastermind's done over $20 million. It's been around since 2019, if I remember correctly. We've had amazing people like Oscar De La Hoya, Mike Tyson right there that I'm obviously shaking hands with. Lions Not Sheep. I am not a founder in Lions Not Sheep, but I am one of the original speakers that goes there every year. And the reason why I say that is because Lions Not Sheep is a great example of a movement built around an individual. Sean Whalen has made an amazing mastermind where he's done amazing shit. I'm honored to be able to speak at his events. This is the one that we did last year, his most recent event. He's been a good friend of mine since 2014. How did I meet Sean Whalen? No, I'm sorry. He's been a good friend of mine since 2013. How did I meet Sean Whalen, and how have we been friends for 10 years? Through a mastermind. Okay. How did I meet the guys from 100 million? How did I meet Mike Tyson? How did I get all the access to the Avengers? Through a mastermind. Mark Jennison is somebody who has been a client. And when he first met me, he said his expertise was that he could help car salesmen with their sales ability. And I said, that's bullshit. Anybody can do that. A couple weeks later, he comes back to me. He says, I've been sober for 2 years. I like to help people get sober. I have a process that helped myself. I said, that's your expertise. Run with it. He now does 8 figures a year in his mastermind. I am a comeback, helping people become sober. Here's a guy who thought it had to be about professional, and he was struggling. And I'm not shitting on Mark. I love you. You're probably here watching this. He will tell you the truth. He was struggling as a car salesman. And when I say struggling, Mark had made millions of dollars, and now he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars as a car salesman trainer. And it was killing him because he'd made millions of dollars at this business that he destroyed due to his alcoholism and drug addiction prior to that. And so here he is working his way back, thinking he can help car people. A conversation with me, now all of a sudden he's helping business people, CEOs, leaders who help other leaders get sober, and he's making 8 figures a year doing that. He is a true comeback. That's an example of somebody who partners with me. That's what I'm giving you an example of. Brandon Brenningham, I'm the king maker. He's the drip king. He's the first king, right? He's the anointed one. And I say that because he and I partnered up. We created something called Apex Investors. He runs it. It's his operation. I'm a partner in it. And we've done 7 figures in less than a year just in that together. Brandon was unheard of, unknown in this world. The first time that he ever spoke on a stage, he had to follow me, poor guy. He will tell you this story. And because of him aligning with myself and another gentleman named John Cheplack, Brandon now speaks on stages with some of the biggest names in the industry. Why? Because he partnered up with me to run this mastermind. Now, I'm not going to take away from what amazing this John Cheplack's done for Brandon as well, but I'm going to take 50% of the credit. Brandon gets 100%, but I'm just saying, partnering up with me, we win, right? Nobody knew who Mark Jennison was. He was just a guy that trains car salesmen. Nobody knows who Brandon was, even though he's a real estate agent that was doing $300 million a year. He was just low key behind the scenes doing his shit as a real estate agent. The social media world, the mastermind world didn't know these 2 guys, but they won't forget them now. Okay. Because of masterminds, I've been in rooms. Look, here's Kent Clothier, Ed Milet, Pete Vargas, who's running Grant Cardone's big thing that he's doing right now. Kent Clothier, just amazing people. So you get in a mastermind, you get top tier people. The other thing that I've been able to do, which I think is absolutely amazing, and there's Brandon right there, by the way. is I get people to do traveling masterminds with me. I haven't flown on a commercial airplane in over 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a mastermind membership. And I just hit the people up and I say, hey, who wants to split the cost of a jet, chop it up, talk some business in the air, and have fun at an event? And there has been no shortage of people that'll throw in 5, 6, 10 grand, depending on where the hell we got to go and what it costs to be able to split the cost of a jet. For literally 2 years, I have at least picked up 4 or 5 people on every jet that want to go hang out, mastermind in the air. And every single one of them, every single one of these guys and every single person on every jet will tell you that they left that jet with more money and more business than they had before they came there. So not only can you connect and make an amazing network, you can, when you have the collaborative effort of multiple people, what happens is you don't have to pay 50 grand to charter this Falcon 900. You can split it between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now you're paying 6 grand a piece instead of 50 grand for one person. Same destination, same mission, same movement. That's just one of the small benefits. Okay. Same thing. You get to invite, once you build your mastermind, you start building live events. You get to invite celebrities to speak on your stage. That's Super Bowl champion Steve Weatherford. That's my motherfucking hero, Pastor Keith. That's Tommy Vex, the most iconic voice in metal. Bro, if you ain't never heard Tommy Vex sing, you got to go to YouTube right now. And Tommy Vex, Bad Wolves, that dude is the baddest voice in all of heavy metal. I wouldn't know him if it wasn't for having masterminds and stuff. Then David J. Harris Jr., you guys know him, one of the biggest political influencers on the planet. Just amazing. But here was my first mastermind. I told you there was 5 people there. And by the way, that's 5 people counting me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? There was 5 of us. But guess what? This is the last one that we threw in June of last year. You see that? That's a stadium full of fucking people for us. Now, it took me 11 years to get there. But to go from here to there, I'm trying not to get emotional right now as I explain this, man, because that's like crazy that that's just now settling in my mind for me. But the same is possible for all of you. And guess what? You probably didn't start with a felony and a GED and have to explain to people why you're not doing the business that you're teaching anymore. I had some serious hardships to get started and I still overcome them, hence the name Hardcore Closer. But this right here that you're looking at, this picture, this was MDM 2022, which it will be bigger this year. See them seats back there in the corner that aren't filled? We're going to fill them this year with amazing people in the audience and amazing speakers on that stage, all because I decided 11 years ago to start a mastermind. So here's what I'm looking for in a partnership, okay? I'm looking for $25,000 to partner with me. Could be 5 payments of $5,500 if you need to space it out. I'm looking for a 10% equity partnership with me in your company. Okay, not in your company as in like if you are a plumber and you own a plumbing company, a roofer, you own a roofing company, whatever, we're going to set up a separate LLC. I'm going to take 10% of it. It's going to be just for your mastermind. So whatever you've already got going on has nothing to do with me. I'm not interfering with anything like that. We're going to do a 90-10% split on a partnership. I'm going to help you, consult you. We've got a program, a training program, obviously put together for you to learn this shit. We're going to do live trainings and everything else together over the course of the next couple of months. And those of you that are interested in sign up, you'll get more details on that. I'm going to be your business partner though. This isn't one of those things where you pay 25 grand and you go through an 8-week course and it's like, hey, go fuck yourself. Thank you for the money. This is one of those things where you pay $25,000, we partner. I help you build your mastermind. My team helps you build your mastermind. You're going to send monthly checks from the profit of your mastermind. You're going to make money and send us money as a part of that. Anytime you need something, a resource, a connection, as your mastermind grows, you want to book a rapper to come and perform, I got you. You want to book a celebrity to come and speak, I got you. You need a mansion in Cabo, you need a chef in Cabo, you need a private jet to get somewhere. You get all of my connections. Think of 11 years worth of people that I know. Think of 11 years worth of connections. Think of it like Jessie Lee is a great example. She just went down to Cabo. She used our connections, the same jet that we've been using, the same houses we've been using. She rented the same stuff, the same staff, the same chefs. Why? Because we have a proven model that works. Doesn't matter if you want to do location, whether you want to go to Cabo or whether you want to throw a mastermind at your house or whether you want to rent the biggest Airbnb that you've always dreamed of spending the night in. And now you want to throw a mastermind there so that you get what I like to do is this is why we go to Cabo with the private jets and stuff. The vacations and the dreams that I've always wanted that I really don't feel like I can afford or that I should pay for myself, $100,000 vacation, XYZ. Why don't I just go get 10 or 15 people to split that with me? And now all of a sudden it's an attainable vacation. That's the power of masterminds and the power of having my connections. Plus, on top of that, you'll get a lifetime Apex Entourage membership. So you'll see how we run shit in Apex. But here's the point of all of this is you're partnering with me. I'm 100% transparent, dude. I got nothing to hide. Anybody that knows me, has ever done anything with me, knows this is how I roll. I'm rolling the curtain back. And I'm showing you exactly how we built Apex, from our core values to our mission to our movement. And you can have it all. Why would you need to go out and reinvent and create your own core values if you like ours? Take them. That's what we created them for. Take our process, take our levels, copy all of it, because here's the thing. It's not stealing. I know Sean Whalen's always talking about steal like an artist. It's not stealing. It's modeling success. And I don't know anybody, maybe they're out there that's more successful or more prolific at this than me. So if you're looking for a way to make money, you're looking for a way to make connections, you're looking for a way to make a better life, you're looking for a way to make vacations and shit tax deductible, to make this luxury lifestyle tax deductible, guess what? You start a mastermind, you buy a Lamborghini, you take pictures of it on Instagram, you get to write that motherfucker off. There's so many benefits to this shit that I can help you guys with, plug you in with the right people, the right tax advisors, the right everything that you need, because I got so much time and effort into this. And honestly, I don't believe anybody's better at this than me. So you couldn't ask for a better partner. You couldn't ask for a better person to help you get this shit set up. And I'm only asking for just what my buddy Brad Lee would say, just a little tad for Brad. Okay. So I can only help so many people at once. So we're going to run this for the next 3 days. Then we're going to take it off the market for a little while until we get caught up with everybody. Because I don't want to saturate it to where everybody's fucking newsfeed all of a sudden is filled with, oh, I got a mastermind now, join my mastermind. And I also don't want you to think that I'm bringing you in so you can try to recruit all my Apex people. It's not about that either. I want to help you build your expertise and grow your shit to where you're the GOAT. You're the next Ryan Stewman. You're not the next Ryan Stewman. You're better than me. You're bigger than me to the next level. I'm believing that there's people out there that are watching this right now that have the capacity to pass me up. And I just want to be a little bit behind it. Frederick Eklund passed me up. I just was a little bit behind it. Josh Flagg passed me up. I was just a little bit behind it. There's been so many people that I've helped over the years that I was just a little bit behind it. There's so many NDAs that I can't even talk about. You guys have no idea how many people who were nobodies that are now very much somebody that I got NDAs on, not one, but multiple people that are just, they're big deals right now because of the stuff that we've done. And you're next. So just go to milliondollarmastermind.com/partners. You can sign up there. The next step is once you get signed up, give us a couple days because I'm sure we're going to have a few people come in. We'll get in contact with you. We'll get you set up for the first live intake call, which will be with me. We'll get everything handled, scheduled, show you how everything works. And within the next 60 days, the idea is to get your mastermind up and running. And within 6 months, have a profitable mastermind. And I say within 6 months, we can do that faster, but I like to set realistic expectations because it might take you a minute to really come up with a good offer. It might take you a minute to really figure out that, like, if I might have to beat into you to trust the process. That's how it works sometimes, right? But in reality, in 6 months, you should have a profitable mastermind that you're leading, running, and benefiting from. So milliondollarmastermind.com/partners. I see that quite a few of you in the chat here. I will answer some questions. There's some questions over here. Okay, so connecting the obvious to in the word. What is the key to making it all happen? So, all right. So under the Q&A thing here, let's see. I'm going to answer any of your questions. So we got anonymous attendee is hype. We got Colton Crottinger. What's up, man? Good to see you. And we got Nathan Pena. It says, when it comes to offers like this, knowing you can't afford something like this, besides absorbing all the free information that you can and connecting with people, an obvious answer doing the work, what is the key to making all this happen? Well, here's the truth. If you can't afford something like this, you need to work harder and become the expert at what you're doing. And for me, I wasn't a failure loan officer and then started training other loan officers. I was somebody who was a top producer that, I mean, the way that I looked at it, and this is ego speaking, is if I was a professional athlete at the height of my career and I injured my knee and I could no longer play sports. It's like, man, shit, I was the best, or I wasn't the best, but I was really, really good at what I did. I was on my way to greatness and my career ended early. So I looked at it that way. So Nathaniel, if you're trying to get on that level, hey man, all the kudos to you. Just put in the work and the time. And once you put in the work and the time will come. So have I worked with doctors helping them grow a franchise model? Absolutely. MDs and chiropractors, actually. And we've been very fucking successful at that, Michael Rubenstein. I'm obviously not a higher educated, I'm street educated very well. I'm not a higher educated person. But I do have guys like Alex Spinoza and Dr. Matt Chalmers and Luis Chapa, who is a UFC MD. Man, those guys have been a part of this and started their own stuff, and they kill it. Matter of fact, Chalmers has an amazing group of people that are investors that he uses to lean on. That's the other thing that you bring up a good point, Michael. Here's the thing about having a mastermind is, let's say that you sold a company for $10 million. And so now you got $10 million cash minus taxes or whatever the hell that you got going on. And you're looking for deal flow, places to invest your money. Well, you start a mastermind, you make a little money from the mastermind. That's great. If you start a mastermind for startup businesses, damn, now all of a sudden you got your own incubator. And now you got motivated people in your incubator that are paying you every month to be a part of your mastermind. And now you're in charge of your deal flow. My buddy, Keaton Hoskins, who lives in Utah, the muscle from the Diesel Brothers, that's what him and Ryan Boucher do, is they started the Limitless Society so that they've got a mastermind. That's cool. It makes some money, but then there's also a bunch of startup business owners in there. So they're looking at every startup business owner's business, deciding which ones that they want to fund and invest in. So, you know, for those of you that are big players, there's deal flow that you can build into this shit and coach and build up your people as well. John Whitworth already signed up. That's what I'm talking about. See you soon, big dog. Jeff Checo, would you say someone needs to attend some masterminds before they decide if it's a fit for them, or just be qualified experts all you need to start? That's a great question. When I started this, I did not attend anything beforehand. I took a course from a guy named Kevin Nations that kind of helped me design how my mastermind and live events went in the beginning. Kevin Nations is an amazing individual. He helped me so much in the beginning, but I didn't attend any masterminds. I went through something like this. I went through a program that taught me how to put all this shit together. So what I'm saying is, really what you do is you need to be the expert. You need to have that expertise in order to start. That's really all it takes. So how did I build the movement from my brand? Well, first of all, you have to understand, if you're building a brand, it has to be bigger than yourself. Because if I'd have built a movement around Ryan Stewman instead of Apex, then people could make fun of us. They could say, oh, you're just a bunch of Ryan Stewman cheerleaders, blah, blah, blah. But Apex is us. Ryan Stewman is me, but Apex is us. And so I built a movement based around us. And in order to build a movement, you got to have a mission. And our mission is to represent what winning looks like at all times. When you put this black shirt with the red A on, that's like putting on a Dallas Cowboy jersey, except for it's for winners. I used a bad example. That's like putting on a whoever won the football game this weekend's jersey, right? Like that's how I want people to feel. So we represent what winning looks like at all times. And then we have 4 core values: responsibility. We make no excuses. Integrity. We do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. Service. We go above and beyond. And excellence. We do the work. That's RISE as an acronym. And so that's the beginning of a movement right there. Is people have something to believe in, something to represent, and something to value. And that's how you build a massive movement. It sounds simply like, oh, that sounds too easy, but I promise you, that's how you build a massive movement. I've done it. I'm firsthand experience, and we're going to do it for the people here as well. What if you're not sure your expertise would be sought after? Do you discuss if something like that will work or not? Ernie, hit up one of my sales guys, or slide in my DMs with your phone number, and I'll have one of my sales guys talk to you. And listen, my sales guys, they're honest as they come. They're going to tell you, because like, we're not in the business of taking people's money and disappointing them. I've been doing this for 11 years. Find a ripoff report, 1-star review, any of that shit doesn't exist because I have 100% satisfaction 100% of the fucking time. So Ernie, call my guys. If you're a fit, they'll tell you. It'll be awesome. If you're not, they'll tell you what you need to do to maybe be a fit in the future. We are not here to help people who we don't think will be successful. That's not what business we are in. We are to help people who have certainty and people that we have certainty in get to the next level. So I've been looking for a master to help me develop a coaching program and scale with multiple companies. Does this include a review of our big picture and strategize how to incorporate this mastermind into our big picture? Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to teach you guys, Scott. I'm glad that you said it that way because, I mean, I'm going to show you guys how to write books, how to create digital products, how to, podcasts, all that shit's pretty much self-explanatory at this day and age. But the fact that if you want to be an expert and be the best way to be an expert, position yourself an expert is to write a book. I show you guys how you don't even have to use a keyboard on a computer to write a book in 30 days or less. You can have that bitch published on Amazon. So same thing with digital program. I've created 20, 30 digital programs at this point that have done millions of dollars. If I applied for ClickFunnels, 7-figure club or whatever the hell it is, I'd have 10 of them, but I only got 2 because I quit after the first 2. So yes, I can definitely help you there. Devin, if we have a mastermind already, can that work? Absolutely. Absolutely. Put it with us. We'll turbocharge it, put it in the right way. So that's I'm expecting a lot of people. Actually, that's a very good question, Devin. I'm expecting a lot of people to already have a mastermind that just want us to come in and help consult, make it better, turbocharge it, put the right shit in place. And like I said, this gives you an opportunity you get my jet connections, you get my office. We have a huge 300-person auditorium at my office in Dallas, Texas, which is the middle of the country, huge ass airport, easy to get to. I give you discounts on using my office for your stuff. I'll even speak at your events if you use my office at the timing's right. Like tons of benefits if you already have a mastermind. Any preferable, Eve, what's up? I mentioned you guys tonight. Any preferable industries that I like to partner in? Shit, I don't think there's anything that I couldn't do. If somebody stumps me with, hey, we've got an ant collector mastermind, and I Google it and find out there's nobody else that's an ant collector, I guess I would turn them down. But I anything business related, mindset related, health related, physical related, I'm pretty sure that I could help. And really, it's not about me being the expert. It's about you being the expert, and you already know this, Eve, but it's about you being the expert and me just giving you the systems in the background to make sure the world knows you're that expert. So do you feel this is a draw of attention for an electrical contractor? Charlie, that's a good question. So depends on your play. So let's say that you're an electrical contractor and you're trying to train the next generation of electrical contractors to come work for you, or you're trying to coach up other electrical contractors around you to where you can buy their businesses, or you're trying to coach up other electronical contractors so that you can recruit them to come work for you. That's absolutely perfect. You know what I mean? Or if you're just trying to get around other badass business owners and lead them and walk them through some shit, it's perfect as well. Here's the thing. We try to think, our world's real small, but I bet if you were to Google it, there's tens of thousands of electrical contractors in the United States. And all you need is 10 to 20 people to have a very profitable, very good lifestyle. Think if you got 20 people paying you $1,000 a month to be in your mastermind, that's a good fucking living. That's $250,000 a year, plus the connections, plus the benefits, plus recruiting them, plus doing business with them and everything else that comes as a part of that. So Carson, walk this through the chat, but for what it's worth, TikTok walkthrough. All right, make your account one if you. I guess he's giving people the game here. Let's see. Appreciate that, Carson. I'm not going to read all that though. All right, something you think would benefit someone in the battery industry. And here's the thing though, it's just like I told who was that above there? It's just like I told Charlie, there's lots of people that probably work in the battery industry. There's Interstate Batteries right down the road from us here in Dallas, Texas. And I'm sure, and that's a big ass building. So there's obviously a lot of people that work in that industry. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish, because for most people, like for me, it isn't just about the money that comes from Apex. Matter of fact, I don't even take a salary from Break Free Academy. My money comes from speaking engagements. I reinvest the money from Break Free Academy back into assets, the company, growing it, hence why we have an office and everything else. But the deal for me is I get deal flow. I get investment opportunity. I get partnership opportunity. I just signed up to partnership on a dog treat company today with a guy that's on a TV show, like all because I run this mastermind. So while the mastermind's amazing and that's something that I love the people in, the thing that I love the people even more is the ones I get to partner with and do different ventures and things of that nature. So the battery industry absolutely will work, but you got to consider maybe there's 2,000 people in my mastermind because there's 7 million entrepreneurs. So you have to figure out how many people work in the battery industry and say, okay, maybe if I got 10 or 15 people in there, I would have a good, profitable, relatable mastermind. So my man, the Red Suit Realtor, will you pay a referral fee for anyone that joins your mastermind? I have a lot of people that'll be interested. Hell yeah, we pay 10% referral fee if it doesn't have to go through a salesperson. And so if you use your link, they go directly through you. We do absolutely pay 10% for Apex. And we do that on a case-by-case basis. But since I know you, I'll absolutely do that for you. Just hit me up, big dog. All right, Courtney says, we're a 600 unit a year real estate team. That's fucking awesome. With a vertical and coaching, 3 owners, we got a team in place to launch our group coaching programs, which are pretty well sorted. We haven't considered masterminds, wondering if this is too much to launch all at once, if there would be wasted resources paying our dude and paying your guys for similar stuff. In full transparency, I would do one at a time, because you don't want to confuse your audience and make them seem like, oh, these people are just trying to get money any way that they can. I love to tell you, hey, just pay me, you know, blah, blah, blah. You can do both of us, but I don't think that would be in your best interest. And honestly, a coaching program, mastermind, it's all the same. Apex, we have coaches. We have a mastermind that is $2,500 a year. We have a program that starts with coaches that's 10 grand a year. And then our top tier program is $60,000 a year, which includes a personal coach. And so I think mastermind coaching programs really similar anyway. So if you've already got somebody guiding you there and you've spent the money on them, then man, just stick with the plan that you're already on. Don't let me interfere with that. If shit goes sideways or something changes in the future, you can always circle back to me, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you, no, double down and invest more money, because I don't know the whole situation there. And I don't want to guide you in the wrong way. So I own a tax firm, mastermind geared towards accountants to grow firms and geared towards business owners to save in taxes. Hey, man, my guys that own Easier Accounting, Kale and Trevor, have been in the Apex Mastermind for 4 years, maybe 5 years, but 4 years for sure. They just started their Real Business Owners Mastermind. And what they're doing is they're tax accountants. They're not tax accountants. They own a tax accounting company. And their Real Business Owners podcast, they started it so that they could attract business owners to be in their mastermind so they can sell the business owners tax stuff. So abso-fucking-lutely, Brady. I've been there and done that shit. Absolutely. All right, Clint, can you share a hypothetical example of how the numbers work if a mastermind biz someone decent following already? Following is subjective, man, because, you know, when I got started, those 4 people in that room paid $5 grand each. So you're sitting there watching me in that room teaching $20,000 for 3 days. Those 4 people paid $5 grand each, and 3 of those 4 people committed to paying me another $20,000, which means that I made $80,000 from that one event. Okay, but that only took 4 people. So I've seen people that have a huge following, millions of people, and us not pull a whole lot from them. There's been some people that, you know, we find out they got fake followers, and I'm not saying that's your case, but you never know. Your people may follow you because you have a 6-pack and you're trying to sell business advice, and comes to find out they don't give a shit about business advice. They're following you because you got a 6-pack and they like your shirtless pictures. So, however, if you are a guy like, let's say, trying to think of an example, a guy like Adam Lyons, you know, he's got tens of thousands of followers on Instagram. And when he makes a post on Instagram about joining his mastermind, you know, the guy probably pulls in 5 or 6 leads per post, I would imagine. And I'm just giving like an average example, 5 or 6 leads per post, and, you know, maybe converts 1 or 2 of them. So you figure if you do that 3 days a week, you're probably making, I don't know, $20,000 to $30,000 a week on top of that, having a decent following. You got a guy like Keaton Hoskins who told me he's making, and he's pretty public about this, he's making $300,000 a month from a mastermind that he's been running for 6 months. And he's got somewhere around 300,000 or 400,000 followers on Instagram. So it really just depends on the personality and shit. And listen, I'll be honest with everybody. Most likely you're not going to like day one, make an offer out of the gate and just get rich. I've been doing this for 11 years. That's why I'm willing to partner with you instead of just throwing you off the fucking cliff and saying, hey, I hope you make it. Cause it might, for 99.9% of you, it's going to take us some time to get this ready. It's not going to take us forever, but like I said, give us 6 months before we're really fucking kicking and running this shit. So hell yeah, John Cheplack's my man. So Carson said, damn, I didn't mean to send all that here. It's all good. Okay. How often do I offer this? This is the first fucking time I have ever offered this before, Danny. And I'm not sure how many people that we're going to get. I haven't looked at my phone to see who signed up and who hasn't. I'm not sure how well or whatever this will work and how many people that we can take, but I'm up for the challenge and I have never let anybody down. I've got an amazing team, but it just depends. We'll be running replays of this till probably Friday, and then we'll cut it off and see what we're working with. So, okay, I just wrote a check for $300K to buy out my business partner last month. Is this going to be something you offer once up? Well, damn it, Alex. I know the feeling though, man, but you probably made a really good decision buying out that business partner, and shit'll circle back around before you know it. But that's all right. Just hit me up, Alex. Partner with you. Does that also come with help to build out a sales team? I'm going to advise how to do all that stuff and how we built everything, but I don't have the resources to run somebody else's company too. Again, my 10% is the reason why you keep 90% as an advisory, run some shit by me. You need some help, but I can tell you how to build the sales team and where to go to find them and shit like that. But it's not me coming in and training your guys and things of that nature. So does this model work with high ticket masterminds? Have you seen it successful with mid ticket? I think Lion's Not Sheep is $3.99 a month. Arate is $3.99 a month. So those would be what I would call mid-ticket mastermind, Sierra, and those work absolutely fucking. Sean's got 3,000 or 4,000 people, I think, in his deal, and Ed and Andy have 2,000 in there. So the mid-level stuff works well too. So yes, Ricky. Hey, what's up, man? I remember you. You've been coaching people for a long time. So yes, $25K to get it all set up and everything else, plus a 10% small cut of profits for ongoing relationship. That is correct, sir. So thoughts on digital marketing, sales mastermind? Dude, that's something that people need. Every day, there are new industries that are trying to learn how to market on social media. Trust me, I've been selling to this fucking industry and trying to get people on board with that shit still to this day for 12 years. Now I've been doing that longer than the mastermind. So, all right, Jason, I got a high ticket coaching business ready to launch. Awesome. Got the funnels ready, the webinar course. I need help with running ads and really taking to the top. Would this come with the mastermind deal? Again, that's something that absolutely I'll help you with the marketing side of things, but also I just introduce you to the people that run ads for us. It's like, hey, you go right direct to the source, because that's what I'm trying to become here, is a resource for you guys. Like, that's the big thing about me, is I've been doing all this stuff. I showed you the numbers. You see the results in my life. Like, I can point you to the people. It's not about you learning Facebook ads necessarily, although it helps to know it, but you got a main business to run, and now you're building a mastermind as well. You don't need to learn necessarily Facebook ads. You need to make me and you make sure that you've got a really great offer. My team, myself, you make sure you got a good offer. Put that offer to a team that can market that offer in front of your ideal audience. You or a salesperson run the catch process on the back end and closing them. It's as simple as that. So absolutely can plug you into our people. So what's up, Austin? Hey man, you're supposed to be driving my damn truck, man. How the hell are you writing on here, man? Don't be texting and driving, goddammit. That's an expensive piece of equipment you operating. Can it be a subgroup of Apex in our local area that they can eventually level up into? That would be something I'd be willing to work with you with, Austin, because I know you're a good motherfucker and I believe in you. So that is something that I am open to discuss behind the scenes of this webinar with you individually, because I know your character and who you are, sir. Just like I look up to Brittingham and everything else. So same thing. So Devin, any exclusivity within specific niches? Nah, man, we got to have an abundant mindset. Inside Apex alone, there's hundreds of roofers, hundreds of realtors, like I said, multiple doctors, man. There's there's so many people that need masterminds in your business that we can't have a limited scarcity mentality. Like, I refer people to Lions Not Sheep, Arate, Grant Cardone, shit, even people that don't like me. I send them people all the time because, look, if you want to learn sales, you know, you might want to go to Jordan or Grant, because that's not really what we're focused on at this point in my life, right? That's past Ryan. I got bigger skills than that at this point. So I refer people out all the time. And so anyway, the reason why I say that is you can't have a scarcity mindset where, like, oh, I got to be the only person, you know, shit. That's the whole point of a mastermind, so that we can trade business and everything else. So Zizzo for Shizzo. Hey, Ryan, will you and your team create a mastermind syndicate Facebook group? Everybody signs up so that, yes, we will have a group for all of us. We're calling it the $1 Million Masterminders, right? So original. I know, Chris. But yes, so there'll be a group for all of us, because the point is, Chris, you're a good speaker and you have expertise in the fitness industry. You're a bad motherfucker. Why wouldn't I put you in a group with somebody like maybe Devin here who joins? And Devin is, and I don't know who Devin is, but Devin's an expert at what they do. So when Devin throws an event, he can say, hey, Chris, since we're in the same mastermind group, would you like to speak at my event? When you throw an event, Chris, you can say, hey, Austin, would you like to speak at my event? There's a lot of construction guys that are trying to get into shape. You guys in your own have your own little group to connect together. I see people in Apex all the time throw big events with hundreds of people who attend them. And the hundreds of people that attend them are the hundreds of people that attend them, the people that speak at them are other Apex members that they met through our mastermind. Look, man, I have, you know, last year we had 2,800 people at MDM. And like, man, I still can't believe I even fucking say that. That's how amazing that is. But it didn't start that way. And the way that I got there is nobody put me on their stage. Like, still to this day, I have not been on Ed Milet's podcast. I have not been on Andy Frisella's podcast. I have not been on Grant Cardone's TV show. I have not been on Patrick Bet-David's podcast. The biggest podcast, the biggest things in my industry, I have not had a part of. I have not been invited on since day one. So I had to make my own shit. And now my own shit is bigger than some of that shit. And so that's how I had to fucking get down. And so I say that because you get this opportunity to where you think, like my man, Brandon Brittingham, he's like, man, I want to speak on stages. Build your own stage. They'll want you on theirs. I built my stage. I am in high demand now. Everybody wants me on their stage because I built my own stage and it's big as fuck. That's what I'm trying to do with some of you guys. Chris, I know you could build a big ass stage. I know. So the investment equity isn't a problem, but I'm still working on business SOPs. I don't feel like to have the time right now. Do you anticipate making this offer down the road? Hey, that's valid. I hope this works well enough to where I scale this thing and it becomes a major part of our operations, Zach. I hope, but you never know. Whatever God's plan is, however many sales we make, however many people that decide to take us up on this, it just depends. I mean, I haven't looked to see how many sales we've made. If it's a complete flop, which I doubt it, if it's a complete flop, probably not going to offer it again. But if we got some awesome ass people fired up, ready to go, it'll probably be something that we do time and time again, because that's how business works. So, and I understand with the SOPs, marketing, and everything else. One thing I will say is, though, ChatGPT can save us all a shitload of time, man. That's the great thing about working with me, is I'm a time collapser because I've spent so much time doing this stuff. So how much do you think this concept will work in the beauty industry, aesthetics, personal care? I don't see any of them done well. There is a guy named Garrett J. White and his wife, Danielle. She runs a mastermind and they do hair extensions. So we'll just say that's the beauty industry. They do hair extensions and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure they're doing 8 figures a year in hair extension beauty school. So whatever it is, you know, and they're teaching other people how to do hair extensions. So there is a way to spin the shit always. So great solution for roofing contractors. We need good roofing masterminds. I've got a lot of roofers in my mastermind, but my mastermind is not roofing specific. And I think that we do need leaders in that industry, because like the leaders I know, like Kurt Lennington and Tony Tabernas, they're busy as fuck. They don't have time. And they're not to a point where they're building shit bigger than before, and they don't have time to focus on anything else. Some of y'all have already built it and you're on the way out. And those are the kind of leaders that we look for, or you're already building it. You're at the top and you've got systems to where you got everything autopilot. That's perfect as well. So All right. Financial services. Absolutely. Financial services, dude. You guys kill it. And it does, I mean, and everybody in your industry makes money. There's so many different ways you could spin that around a mastermind too. And do you think it would help with real estate investments in Mexico? Absolutely. If they're good deals. I mean, could be shitty investments. I don't know. But if you got good deals, building a mastermind around people that want to build an international portfolio, I think that's interesting. And with the right people and with the right information, anything's possible. So I said I was only going to take 30 minutes. I've ended up taking an hour and fucking 15 minutes. And I feel like an asshole because of that, because I said that I wasn't going to do that. That was not my initial intention. So I apologize. I didn't even realize that time flew by that quickly. So for those of you that signed up, let me pull this out here so I can see. For those of you that signed up, we will be in touch with you over the next couple of days. Give us a second to process everything. I'm looking forward to partnering with you. The way that it's going to work in the beginning is we're going to have a joint call where everybody's going to get on a Zoom, just us. And I'm going to explain how everything works, get you all your logins and all that other stuff. My team and CSRs will start calling you guys tomorrow. So they'll walk you through the process, what to expect and everything else. Those of you that took me up on this offer, I'm very much looking forward to changing lives alongside of you. I do not take this role lightly at all. And those of you that didn't take me up on this, spread the word still. You might know somebody who belongs in this. We're going to shut this down in the next couple of days and get everybody squared away. So jump in now, or I don't know what the next step is. So thank you guys for showing up here tonight. I'm going to let you go. You guys stay warm. If you're in Texas, stay the fuck off the streets. And looking forward to partnering with some of you guys. Later.